Okay, good morning and welcome to yet another beautiful day and a lesson in English. We're going to be doing paper one. We're doing paper one, and we're specifically building up on what we started some time back, or what teachers have started. We are building on composition writing. Okay, and this morning specifically we are going to be looking at stories. How do we handle stories beginning or ending with the given statements? Okay, we are given a statement. We are given a statement, and we must either begin a story or we must end with that statement. So the question here is, how do we go about with this? Okay, and remember last time we were looking at three things that we put together to make up our story. If we must come up with a story, we said one, we must have that thing called creativity. We must have imagination. Okay? And then we must have what we call a wide, rich vocabulary. Okay? So once we have these three items, then we can handle any challenge that we are given as regards composition writing. You know, we lose out so many times, okay, when it comes to paper one. And then the people of paper two start saying, you see, teachers of paper one, you let down our distinctions. We are saying, let's get back to the grassroots. How do we build these stories? We are told, begin a story, end a story, okay? So very fast in your brain, okay? Your gifts of imagination and creativity have to start working. You must build a story. You must, one, of course, they are going to give you an idea. So the question here is, how do you make up, one, a story? Okay? How do you make up a story of this idea? Okay? Then two, how do we develop that plot? Okay? How do you develop the plot? Very fast. How do we work on what you'd say voices? The characters we create. Okay? The people we are going to create. Eh? How do we work on very fast on places and time? Setting. We are looking at places. We are looking at time. Okay? How do we create that very fast? Then, how do we play about with the emotions? Because somehow we must make the story interesting, appealing, either with emotions of pity, sympathy, emotions of pride, love. Somehow the person who reads your story should either laugh or cry, okay? Or will leave the person in a situation of wonder and saying, okay, now, anxiety, say now, okay, now what happened? What really happened? Why this? Okay? So, composition writing is a very beautiful, yet again, very tricky thing. But if we put our cards right, we can make it. Okay? So, we go back to the idea. They're telling us that stories, our interest today is stories beginning or stories ending. Okay? So, we must look at that. I believe people, you have put this down. Okay? You put this down. We have said stories beginning or stories ending with the given statements. They give you a statement. Okay? As soon as the rain stopped. Okay? So, we are given statements and we must either, so let's start with the stories beginning. Okay? They always tell us, write an original composition or story beginning. With. Okay? So now when they give us, they're going to give us a statement. So it's about continuity. How do we continue? How do we sustain? The interest of the examiner is seeing how we sustain this started idea. Okay? How do we sustain? How they have given us life. It's like now, it's like giving birth. Okay? Some woman gives birth and then maybe she dies. So what do? We adopt the what? The baby. We are adopting the baby. So the question here is, can we, in the process of adoption, once we have adopted, can we be able to give that baby what the original mother would have done what? Given. Okay? Can we be able to do that? It's what the examiner wants when they tell us, because they start a story and then they want us to take over. Okay? That's what we are calling sustaining the started idea. To sustain is to keep rolling without us deviating. Okay? We don't have to change posts, so what they say, changing goals. Okay? No. Once we are board, we on board. Okay? Let's say in a bus and we're going to Mbarara, make sure along the way, maybe in Masaka where there is goat's meat, we don't get carried off eating the goat's meat and the bus leaves us behind. No, we must keep in the bus until we get where? To Mbarara. So now we're saying a woman gives birth to a child and then she dies. Now here we come and do what? We adopt the baby. So can we be able to show that baby, okay, that care, the love, okay? Can we provide the baby with the basics that the mother primarily would have done what? The biological mother would have given, okay? So we have to take over. So we have to take over the story creation. Okay? We have to take over. Someone has begun. So how do we take over? So that means that we find a way of getting, okay? We are of getting into the thoughts of the creator, the story creator, the idea. Okay? We have to get into the mind of that person. So we ask ourselves a few questions, okay? If we must develop this, we're going to have to ask ourselves a few questions inside us. For example, who is this writer? Okay? Who is the original writer? Yes. Who is the original writer? We try and replace. Could it be a bishop? Is it an imam? Is it a refugee? Okay? Is it a child who is playing with other children outside at the balcony or in the garden? Okay? Is this somebody who has just gotten what? Annoyed and is pouring out the emotions? Okay? Or This is somebody who has been in thought and wants to share their thought with other people. So we must find a way of getting to understand. If we must continue with the story, okay? We must continue. Then we must say, okay, now what is it? As we adopt this child, there's some things we need to ask the doctors. Okay? Yes. It's like, for example, origin of the parent. Is the parent a Ugandan? Yes, a Ugandan. From which region? Okay? Because now you're adopting the child. Maybe this parents, okay, the parents of the child, the biological parents, in a way have certain diseases. So when you adopt and then you don't get to find out, okay, the child as it grows will start showing some things and then, to be a shock to you and you'll fail. So we are saying, can we get to know a bit about, say, okay, fine, okay, what do the Kejongs do? How do the Kejongs bring up their what? Their children. What do they feed their children on? Okay? Yeah. What's the kind of atmosphere that the Kejongs put their children in? So that, we try and do what? Replicate that. We try and create that environment for the child in the new what? So, we also get to know, say, okay, now, who is this writer? What was this person doing? Crying? Was this person at a party? Okay? This is a student in the class. Okay, now, fine. So we say, it's a student in class. Okay? Student in class. So then we say, okay, fine. What is the status of this student? You get it? Like, can we dig into the mind? What people normally say, the psyche. Can we dig into the mind of this student? Say, yes, the writer of this story is a student. Where? In class. So we say, okay, fine. Is it a happy student? We can ask those questions. And we get that from the choice of what? Words that have been used. Is this a happy student? Or is the student who is bullied? Okay? Is it a bright student? Because, or it's a weak student. Or it's an average student. So that before we start doing what? Pouring our ideas down, let us first collect certain data. We need to collect certain ideas. Okay? So that by the time we start writing, we know. It's like the word is empathy. Okay? The word is empathy. I don't know what empathy means. My guests in the studio. What does empathy mean? Yes. Yes, I have two guests in the studio. There is engineer Ukasha. And then we have a renowned journalist. Yes. Empathy. What does empathy mean? Talk about empathy. We talk about empathy, pity, sympathy. So what's the difference? What is empathy?
Understand and share the feelings.
Yes. We normally, there are certain things we do that we say, okay, about we are trying to develop our composition ideas, and we want to understand. They're telling us to continue. They talk about empathy. Empathy. You've always heard the statement people say, putting yourself into what? Yeah, putting yourself into the shoes of others. Yeah. You know, at times they say before you react to something, when you find someone in a certain situation, before you react, can you try so much to put yourself in their situation, in their position? Okay? We normally run out, for example, okay, let me talk about the weirdest things that people do. A girl gives birth to a baby and then dumps a baby to a pit latrine or the dusty bin. So you can imagine, after pain of 9 what? Months, you successfully give birth. And then that baby you've just given birth to, you wrap it up, dump it in the dustbin there and walk away. Now, I can see the faces, okay? Yes, of the guests in the studio with me. Eh? Yes. So, what would you do? Like, for example, if you got a chance to pick, to get the woman, the girl that has just dumped this baby, what would you do? Beat up? Burn? Eh? What would you do? What would you do? What would be the best thing to do at that time? I'm being told I hear. Since she threw the baby into the pit latrine, we also get her and throw her into the what? The pit latrine. Paying evil with evil, eh? So an eye for an eye. At the end of the day, which eye shall we remain with? Eh? Yes, when we go an eye for an eye. Eh? So let's try and put ourselves into the shoes of others. So we put ourselves into the position of the writer, the creator of the story. Eh? So for example, what is the word? In what environment is our writer? Okay? In what environment? What state of mind? Okay? What emotions is our writer in? Okay? Environment, we talk about here mood. You know, there are some people you don't find certain moods and you talk to them. You get it? Yes. So we're asking ourselves, okay? We want to develop this story, but let's not rush. Okay? Let's first take a few minutes, like 5 minutes. Even if it's too close to 10 minutes, we can handle this. Okay? No, it's better for us to develop our idea before we start doing what? Writing. It's not good for you to start writing and then you run out of what? Ideas. Or along the way you get completely like, hey, by the way, what was this person thinking when they say this statement? No. So let's try and work this out at the beginning of the what? Yeah. Before we do this. So we're saying, state of mind. Is the person happy? Crying? Eh? Just woken up from a dream? You get it? Okay? Is the person cursing? Eh? Is the person... So, where is the person? Where? So we place. Okay? Where is our person? Where is the person? So, once these things, like we have said, we're using this word, the empathy. We put ourselves into the shoes of this other person, into the position of this other person. Let's put ourselves there. And then we see, okay, what is it? Okay? And then also, let's look at the other thing that will help us develop a very beautiful story. The other thing that will help us develop a beautiful story is that what could be the intention of the writer? Because remember, every story has what? An intention. It has what we would call a moral lesson. something for us to pick out. Okay? Yes. Waswa Hassan, I believe you're in the lesson. Okay? Just like Engineer Ukasha. Okay? I also have, who do I have here? Okay, Roof, okay, I want, okay. What has the what? What? People, you're asking me questions that are, yes, you're asking me questions. As English started, yes, we are in the English lesson. Ability to understand another person, see what? Feeling. Yes, thank you so much, Waswa Hassan. Empathy. You've said ability to understand another person's feeling. Yes? And so we want to understand the feelings. So say talk about what? Emotions. The feelings of the story creator. Is this person happy? So once, let's go with just feelings. Okay? Let's build on just feelings. So that we connect the three ideas of what? Creativity, imagination, and vocabulary. Okay? Let's go with emotions. You've said feelings. What we are calling emotions. Okay? So this one is going to depend on also, there are certain things we call tone. Tone is like how your words do what? Sound. We can tell that from the choice of words that you are using. Okay? Then mood, which is connected to that one. Feelings, emotions, even the tone is connected to feelings, emotions. So if we start and we are saying emotions of what? Merry. Okay? That's why we say Merry what? Christmas. Okay? So it is what? Excitement. So the other words we could use is what? Anyone? Which other words can we use instead of Merry? Instead of excitement? Ecstasy. Spelling.
E.
Hey.
C.
E. E. C. T.
A. S. Y.
Are you sure?
No, there is an S after C.
Okay. Yes, people. Yes, the people who are following the lesson. Yes, other words in place of what? Merry, excitement, ecstasy. Other words. Which other words can we use? Yes? Joyful. Joy. Jolly. The obvious word is what? Happy. Okay? What we would call here that the person is in a what? In a good, in a jolly, in a merry, you get it? Mood. So once we get like, they're giving us that. They have told us, write an original story, beginning. Okay? And then you say, with the arrival of the guests, okay, we started to count the gifts that were flowing in. Okay? That's our story. This is saying what? With the arrival of the guests. What comes after guests?
We started.
A comma. We started doing what? Counting. Yeah. The many Wonderful what?
Gift.
Wonderful gifts that were
In.
flowing in. Okay. There is our words. There is our story. Somebody has started the story. Okay? Say, with the arrival of the guests, we started counting the many wonderful gifts that were flowing in. And then what happens? You get this student. Okay? Who does not get the what?
That
The feelings right. What feelings are here? Happiness. Okay? Because there is no person. Okay, which one has given us the happiness?
gift.
Gifts. Thank you so much. That's what we talk about what? Vocabulary. Okay? So that we need to understand that diction, choice of words. Okay? The choice of words used. Okay? So remove this here. We talk about choice of words. Okay? So we are looking at choice of words helping us to dictate the word, the emotion, to dictate the feelings. The choice of words are helping us to dictate the feelings. And here, specifically, which words have given us? We have said what? Gifts. Which other word? That would, Wonderful. Okay? Supposing we change. We removed the word wonderful. And then we say annoying. What would the feeling be? A feeling of what? Anger. Okay? So wonderful, we have said what? Happiness. Okay? Now, the moment we say, we replace the word wonderful with annoying, then it becomes feelings of what? Anger. Would these people even be receiving these feelings the same way? The reception would do what? Would change. At the times, you know what would happen? If it was maybe some aunt who had been placed, okay, at the ushering section to receive the gifts, and then she starts receiving these annoying what? Gifts. What will happen? Will she keep there? No, she's likely to call up someone. Some kind of young girl, or a boy, anyone who will come across her face, come and do what? Receive the gift. She will relocate and do something which makes more sense to her. Okay? So you're seeing how. So that means now that once we pick on a story idea and the feelings are of what? Happiness. That means that our diction, okay? Our choice of what? Words. We have to do what? Sustain. Another word for sustaining? Maintain. What about two words? Keep. Keep up. All together. We must keep up with that. We must sustain, we must maintain. Because what did we say? We are saying that this woman has given birth to a beautiful child. And then she has unfortunately done what? Died. Are we going to destroy the beauty of this child when we adopt the child? Okay? All together. So, when this child, as the child grows up, and then we get to realize that the child loves listening to music. Okay? Then we must say, okay, man, it looks like the mother, the parents, maybe they have this musical what? Background. So it is in the blood. So now, do we get this child away from the music environment and deny this child? The moment we do that, what are we going to change? We're going to change the what? The feelings of this child. We shall remove the happiness and put there what? Anger. And what would we have done? Destroyed. Okay? So when we are writing these compositions of begin, okay, we must be able to pick words as we write, as we deal with our creativity and imagination. We have to maintain that. One, our choices of words have to do it, to maintain that emotion. Are we together? So if the emotions are, if the emotions of what? Anger, that the writer has started by making the reader to feel pity, then we must continue, okay? We must build on. To the extent, if the writer began with making the reader to feel pity, let's build on and make the reader to do what? To shed tears. Okay? Let's make the reader shed tears. Because we cannot just begin pity and then all of a sudden you say, pooh! We change it like a Nigerian movie. You get it? All of a sudden, pooh! All those things of Bollywood what? Soaps. Okay? The wife calls. And you're knowing your mother is coming here and then she's abusing me so much. I'm leaving this whole place. I'm not going to be here anymore. I can't handle this marriage. Enough is enough for me. It's enough. And then the husband is like, oh, Chibubu, you're not crying like that. Calm down, calm down. Oh, now you're remembering last time you wanted me to buy you this yacht, eh? Okay. Now you call the seller. Call the seller, give it to you right now, eh? Now, but again you're realizing that it does not solve the what? The problem. Okay? The problem is not the yacht. The problem is who? The mother who has come in. Your mother who has walked in. So, let's make sure that as we develop the story, okay, we get to understand the problem that the writer is handling. That's what's taking us to our next thing. So we are done with the emotions. Okay? And we are seeing how we use the emotions, how we are using words to sustain the emotions. If the writer started off with emotions of anger, then let's skip there. Let's look for vocabulary that helps us to build what? Anger. If it is happiness, then let's go with that. If it is wonder, the child is there. You know, they talk about Wonderland. Let's take the child, let's take the reader to what? To Wonderland. Everything is coming as new. Okay? Say, wow. You know, so as soon as we got off the airship, the first thing that struck our mind, okay, was the beautiful display of twinkling stars just by our what? Hands. By our palms, you know? You get it? Well, you could almost hold a star. You get it? So it took us back to those moments of young couples in the gardens at night under the moonlight, looking at the stars, and then one saying, can I put this? I put that star in your what? In your heart. But here we were able to do what? Touch them. Are you seeing how the vocabulary you're building? You get it? But now when you say, oh, as soon as we got off the airship, the twinkling stars, then I remembered my mother crying. So you see how you're destroying? That your next choice of words of what? I remembered my mother crying. No, crying, twinkling stars. No, I mean, the two don't do what? Connect. And that is what happens. You see, they give you that. With the arrival of the guests, we started counting the many wonderful gifts that were pouring in. Let me tell you to continue. And then your first statement. My mother ran out of the house crying. People. What have you done? You get it? What would the examiner want? You say that the first set or bunch of gifts were wrapped up, okay, in small boxes. And then came in these big and heavy what? Gifts that, and I mean, one, as you carried them to place them down, you'd actually get a feel of the goodies that were inside. So you're even using the word goodies. And then look at this. You get a feel of the goodies that were inside. That is building. You're building on your emotions of what? Happiness, excitement. You get it? You make the reader want to really find out what is inside where? The box. That's what we are saying. Sustaining. Keep it. You maintain. And then you do what? At times, you don't just go beyond sustaining or maintaining or keeping up. You make what? Better. Make better. Yes. Make something more attractive for the reader. That's why we say that if you take over a story where the writer was making the reader feel pity, we have said make it better by making the reader shed what? Tears. Writers, we do one simple thing. We play about with the emotions of who? The reader. That is one thing that you need to know. So you want to be a good writer. Make sure that your imagination, your creativity, and your vocabulary aim at doing what? Playing about with the emotions of the reader. You either make the reader happy or make the reader sad. Okay? So you need to enjoy. So we have said emotions, so we have finished emotions. Let's go with the idea. Sustaining the what? The idea. The topic. Okay? In writing, we would call it the what? The conflict. The conflict. A conflict is, and we normally use not just the idea, we say the major idea. Or the other word, if not major, we say central. Okay? Yes. So, we are beginning. It is a what? We have started our story with what? A party. So, how do we do it? How do we use our vocabulary? Our diction, choice of what? Of words. To sustain what? Party mood. How do we do that? Okay? Supposing it's not a party. Supposing we are at a what? A funeral. We are in for what? A burial. Supposing we are in for that. The story they have started for us is a journey. So how do we sustain the journey? Now this sustaining the idea is what we are going to call plot development. Plot development. We are developing the story. Plot, or what you say, story. That we must have a what? We must have a skeleton. Okay? We must have a skeleton. So we want to sustain. So if it is a party, so let's break it up. Now our boxes. It's a party. Can we create, for example, places? Always stories are built on what? Places and time. So it's a party. Can we build places? Are we together? Where are we going to start out? Are we going to have our party in one place? Or we're going to spread our party to different what? Places. Okay? Can our party, let's say for example, begin from home? From home, we go to what? Campus. What part are we looking at? Graduation. We're in a graduation what? Party. Because we prepare from where? Home. Then we go to campus and pick our what? Our degree, our masters. You get it? We're in that gown. Eh? Now from there, do we rush home? No, we first go for a photo what? Yeah. We go to some place for a photo shoot out. Yes. Okay? Now from there, we pass via what? Where do we go? We need a drink and a snack. Okay? So where do we go? We go to KFC? Yeah? So we go to what? KFC or we go to the rat place? What's the rat place? Java's. You get it? So we are moving. So we are building our party. Okay? Now, this we are putting down, this is creativity and what? Imagination. Because we are coming up with what? With ideas. So from here, where do we go to? For some people who are religious, where do we run to? We go to church to thank God for the blessing. Church or the mosque? Yeah. So it is of course from church, mosque, where do we go to now? The venue for the what? The party venue. My friend, there's what we call what? Party after what? Party. Hey! Yes. So party venue, we do that. Then of course now we shall have what? The party. Let me use the way it is written, not the. Yeah. It is what? Party. After party. So where do we go for the party after what? Party. And this one normally is when? At night. This one happens at night. What time did we start? Morning. And we can actually end our party with also what? With morning. How? This is what? Return where? Return home. To do what? To sleep. So, how have we been able to... So, last time I told you that as we deal with what? Developing the story idea. I said we deal with imagination, creativity, but we also don't forget our daily what? Experiences. From things we have done what? We have seen, we have experienced, we have watched, we have read, we have been told, we have heard. Okay? So that's how we have been able to do this. So you can see. Now, throughout this, there are certain things that we need to do what? To sustain. Okay? That is what? The mood. What you'd call the feelings. We need to sustain our what? Our feelings. Once in a while, of course, there are some things that can't escape life. Once in a while, we get that annoying uncle or auntie who comes and tries to do it. To mess up the what? Yeah. So, when we are looking at our what? The next thing we're going to look at, of course, is going to be our characters. Okay? So, when we are looking at our characters, I mean, we cannot have 100% victory of happiness. There has to be that person who comes and does what? Tries. You see now the words we're using? Tries or attempts. See, when we say tries, attempts, do they really succeed? No! We must maintain our jolly what? Our jolly mood. Our excited mood. We must maintain that. So there's that character who comes and tries. So you bring in one or two. Okay? And then usually in daily life, you have this person who is what? Annoying. Comes and tries to change a mood. Do you know the best person to bring in? To give you back the mood? Huh? Now, this is now when you now use, let's go to the next thing, which is what? Characters. We are developing. We started with the sustaining the emotions. First of all, we say we get to understand who the writer is. What state of mind is the writer in? Okay? What's the intention of the writer? Now, what mood, what emotions is the writer expressing? So that we sustain those what? Emotions. So we have come up and said, okay, now, what is the idea? Okay? And now we have taken the party what? Idea. Are we together? We could also have gone with what? Burial. Burial still we can start from where? Again, it is home we get to hear the news. Okay? Then from home, we rush to the what? To the hospital maybe. Or to the scene, to the site where the person is. Okay? Are we together? So imagine from home, we rush to the road or to the clinic. Then from the clinic, we rush the person where? To the hospital. ICU, intensive care what? Unit. Are we together? Then from inside the ICU, of course they chase us. Where do we go? Outside. We are in the compound of the hospital. Now it is from the compound of the hospital that other people start doing what? Coming in, or we start receiving more what? More calls. Are we together? Then from there, they call us back into the what? ICU, and they tell us the person has done what? Passed on. So our emotion. Now you see, we started with the pity. Here now, people are even now beginning to do what? To cry. You get it? So we are building on what? On emotions. And you're seeing how carefully. Because now when we say we receive a phone call, that maybe we are excited, we're having breakfast. And then someone said, wait, where's Jacqueline? Jacqueline left very early morning to go and see what? A friend. Okay? So I think they have to go somewhere to do something. And then at that very minute, as people are there, when people get back to breakfast, maybe mommy or daddy receives what? A phone call. Alright, let's say Jacqueline involved in what? A nasty accident. Where? Massacre Road. So we rush. Which place specifically on Massacre Road? So we rush. We get there. They tell us, hey, police took us over to which clinic? So we rush to the clinic. We find her, still the heart is doing what? Is beating. So we pick her, get an ambulance, rush her to a hospital. She's on what? Oxygen. And then you see? Now you see how we are developing, and the moods are actually beginning to do what? To change. Now that is what is called sustaining. Okay? Sustaining the idea, the emotions, the mood that the original story creator started off with. We don't deviate. We keep there. Okay? And we keep making things even what? Better. Are we together? So now we are off this. Let us now go to getting characters that sustain our idea, our story. Okay? We want to get characters. Here, rat place. Hey, you, Kutesa, you're laughing at what? The rat place. It's not me who said it. Look at them. Maybe just not the things that will help us catch up. Okay? I'm going to do that. I will sum that up. Oh. Okay, okay, people. With the composition writing, do we really need notes? Mutesi, you're asking for. Sarah, you're asking for what? For notes, composition writing. These are ideas built in the what? In the mind. We are saying. First of all, see why we cannot have notes. It's because one, can we have notes of every word? Of every experience. Can we have notes? And since we are planning to use what? Creativity. Can we write down our creative ideas? All of them? No. We're talking about what? Imagination. What I'm doing here, I'm trying to set up some bit of what we'll call inspiration, motivation. Are we together? I'm like setting up for you a foundation to build on. Foundation to build on. Okay? If you follow up, if you're attentive and you're not playing with your phones and chatting with other friends, you can easily do what? Follow this up, and at the end of this lesson, you can sit down and write a beautiful story you're given to continue. Okay? So, we are saying, can we get what? Be able to create characters. We have said voices. To deliver, to build our story. What has the Marvel industry done? Which characters has it created? The Marvel movie people. Which characters have they created to sustain, to build their stories? Which characters? You see, they started off with who? Captain what? America. Then from Captain America, they brought in who? Hulk. Then they brought in who? There's that carrot guy. Yeah? The one of Javas. Okay? Yes, there's that guy. Then, from nowhere, who have they brought in? Wonder what? Wonder Woman. Then who have they brought in? Superman. You get it? So they keep adding one. They have also brought this guy from Black what? Black Panther. You get it? So they keep just... So you see that the characters, their issue is about to exceptional what? Exceptional characters. Characters with those super what? Superpowers. So you can see characters with the superpowers. So if they must sustain the story and give these superpowers to really work, they also have to look for the bad characters who also have exceptional superpowers. I get it. So what would we do, for example? If I was a Marvel person, I would, apart from going, you see, that's why you see they bring in aliens. Eh? Yes! These guys have to go and fight what? Aliens. So you see them, so you're like, now that is what? They are marching. So if I was to go down to the movies down, what would I do? I would pick Morgana. From where? Mali. Eh? You get it? Yes! I'll make sure I pick Morgana. So if I'm picking Morgana, then I also have to make sure that in the characters I have to include who? Mali. Huh? You get it? That's why you see those things like Arthur's movie, King Arthur's movies and his swords. They will begin with Arthur somewhere, and then someone will say, no. You need Merlin. You get it? Then they go, well, they find Merlin. He's living somewhere. Maybe you'll even find Merlin in a bar. Drunk. He's in his own world. Then they tell him, come on, go. King needs your services. And then that's now when we get to know. So when they say king needs your services, and then Merlin's like, leave me. So they try to force him, that's when his powers begin to come out. And then you see him twisting the guys, bending their swords. You get it? Now, That is the creativity, imagination. We are creating characters to sustain the what? The story. Do you know the issue behind this movie? First of all, let's go with this one. The what? Expendables. You know which characters suit to be in the Expendables? Those great movie what? Actors. They're the ones. That's why you see. Who did the writer pick? Picks in Sylvester what? Stallone. So we know him because of his John Rambo what? Movies. You get it? Then next, who they bring in? Bruce Willis. We know Bruce Willis because of the what? The Die Hard movies. You get it? Brings in who? Jet Li. We know Jet Li because of those all his action kung fu what? Movies. So you see that Jean-Claude who? Van Damme. You know, we have always said that kicks. So you can see they keep bringing these guys. Okay? You leave the Expendables. Come to Fast and what? Furious. You see? They started off so well. Good. Now when Paul Walker dies, what they do? They must bring in other what? Yes. The recent one, 9. There's a musician. Who is that? Who was added? That lady? Yeah. Do you know why? It's just to sustain the story, to make it more beautiful. So when you're building your characters, okay? We have said we are at a party. We are at a party. And everything seems to be going on what? Well, let's keep at our party. Okay? And all things are going on. All things are going on well. Okay? So, we are enjoying. Let's bring in a little bit of someone to do it, to make it natural. Because we know, we are told that life is not a bed of what? Roses. Is not a bed of roses. Then they say that even if it was, what is it? Roses too have what? Yeah. Roses too have thorns. So they will prick you somewhere. So we need, but have we run away from roses? No, we have continued. We get them, you know, on Valentine's Day. If you don't give me a rose, yeah? You know what will happen? You don't give me that bucket of flowers, you know? Either 6 of them or just 1. If you don't, what will happen? Problems. Okay? At high school, I remember somebody once causing emotions. A girl, he had 2 girlfriends. So one of the girls, the first girl, went and bought a Valentine package. You know what it comes? Flowers, apples, a card, you know, chocolate. So that package, this girl buys it and gives it to who? The boy. Now what was it? You get a boy like who? Like a carrot, broke. You get it? Yes. A boy like a carrot, who is very broke. And now a carrot has who? Girlfriend. Okay? Let's say Alicia. And you know, like Alicia is a jealous thing. Okay? Who wants, no, not Alicia. Let's talk about Mariam. Okay, get it? Yeah, this one of the Mariams. Now one of the Mariams, who wants to do what? Some bit of what we call what? Show peas. Okay? Wants to show off. So, Ikarat gets Let's say, yes, this Alicia who would want to spend, okay, to show her love. Okay? Alicia would come out. Yeah. Yes. So, Alicia is coming out to express her love to Ikarat. And then, here is Ikarat who is poor, but has another girl called what? Mariam. Ikarat is broke, but has Mariam. And wants to show Mariam, oh, Sophie, the fish. Okay? You get it? Oh, Tukundani. You get it? Someone, Ryan, would want to show them love. So, carries this package of Valentine, the apple, the card, the chocolate, the flower, and gives it to who? To Mariam. And then what does Mariam do? Display it. Because she wants to be seen. Displays it, and then who gets to see it? Alicia. Alicia gets to see, and is a whole package the way it was. So you see how we're talking about building characters. You get it? So in your mind, you must be able to build these characters who really work. Yes, wow, what's a good one? You've talked about Black Widow. Yes. Black Widow is good. And then what? So someone says, teacher, they use the fraction method. By this I mean pulling and pushing the emotions of the watcher. It's all about ups and down emotions, and the process people get to love and get addicted to series and movies. Yes. So how do we create? So what we are doing here today, we're talking about creating that addiction. Okay? Creating the addiction. It is what we are referring to sustaining. Yes. Okay? Creating the addiction. You see how we get glued to series, eh? Yeah, those days. Prison Break. People. The legend of the what? The Seeker. Marlene. We would be there. Eh? And then there's also what? What was this? This detective thing. 24 what? 24.
Wow.
Yeah. We would be there. Waiting seriously. So it's more like how we're waiting for more movies. Do you know how we were excited about when they say trailer of Fast and Furious 9 is coming out? We're like, okay, let's go. Like right now, what are we waiting for? Expendables what? 4. It is taking ages, but people are seated. Eh? What would happen right now if they announced there's a new season of Prison Break? Eh? There's a new what? Season of Prison Break. Do you know who they would bring back to life? Michael what? Scofield would have to be. They would have to find a way of showing us that he did not do what? Die. Something else happened, that it's Michael Scofield. He's what? He's bright. He played about with those people in the prison. You get it? So that is the idea. Okay? So we must be able to create these characters who sustain the what? The story. So I've said, so on this thing is that life is not a bed of what? Roses, even if it was. Roses still have what? Thorns. So as we create these people, like these sweet aunties, cousins, friends who are, they're coming singing and they're bringing in gifts, eh? Let's create this story, It's, let me give you a personal experience. It's one of my uncle's what? Graduation parties. Who am I? I'm on the DJ side. We are playing music and I'm coming and asking everybody, what song would you want to listen to? What song would you want to dance to? Things like that. I was on the music, entertainment, organizing kids to come and dance for others. That's where I was. And then one of I would call him a grandy uncle because an uncle to my mom. Okay? A great uncle. It's called a great uncle. The uncle to your mother is called a great uncle. So one of the great uncles gets up, and instead of talking about Ben, who was the grand of the day, okay, the guy starts talking about me. Eh? How I went to school and wrote news that led to a strike. You get it? How the whole thing caused, disorder, disorganization. So it switched off, and I was like, my mood also did what? Changed. Hey, you get it? Changed. I even left the music. The rest of the evening, it was until one of, my aunts, another aunt came and did what? Pulled me back and said, no, forget about that guy. You know that guy? Forget about, we all know who he is and what he does. He does not love to see other people what? Happy. So, we are creating characters. So that would be a thorn, okay, in the party. Yeah. To the graduation party, then this guy comes and starts talking about me, so talking about the person who was there. Everyone is praising the person who was just graduated. And then this guy gets up and starts talking about Yasin. Yasin went to school. Yasin wrote school news. Yasin, there was a strike. Yasin, hey! Okay? So truly, life is not a bed of what? Roses. So you need that. And then, for me, in my reading of literature books, I learned that whenever we get this annoying what? Annoying character. Okay? The basic character to bring in is a jolly, what you say, lovely drunkard. You get it? You bring in a what? This person is annoying, blah, blah. Bring in a drunkard. But a drunkard who has this touch of love for others, who has this care for others, who will come in and say, you come, I know, maybe you have not drunk. You come, I give you a bottle. Leave other people, leave those people alone. Leave that couple alone. Leave the boy and the girl. But wait, you're trying to, now you're making fuss over that he's running after that girl. Do you want me to tell them about you? You get it? Do you want me to tell them about you? So you get the person begins to coil down, when they start say, okay, I can actually also split your secrets. Yes, everyone has a dark what? History. You want me to talk about yours right now? Because you're painting the boy black. Yeah? The boy is all in red and blue. Yeah? And look at the girl. She's smiling and you're turning those smiles into what? Frowns. Eh? So, do you want me to do that for you? So we get to see this. Are we together? So I believe we can be. So once we're able, our idea is sustaining this idea we have been given. Can we sustain the story? Can we develop it? Eh? Can we even make it sound what? Better. So what do? They say we take over. Okay? Usually that's what our parents want us to do. They want us to take over the enterprise, the business, okay, the industry, the empire that they have done what? They have built. They want us to take over. And then we must do what? Sustain. And you have heard of the stories of the president wanting his son to do what? To take over the Ugandan what? Kingdom. Yes. So now, just imagine, the son wakes up and says, Daddy, no, let other Ugandans also do what? Rule. What would have happened? The son would not have sustained the father's dream. Okay? So we must be able to do it, to sustain this dream. That is what stories are about. We have said, what are we using? Creativity, imagination, vocabulary to build our stories. Okay? Someone talking about what? Money heist, yes. How do we develop? How do we run them? Teen Wolf, Lucifer, Yusuf. Yusuf and Lucifer. Yusuf, you're Lucifer yourself. We know that. You took over the character, you see? You took talk about it, you enjoy, coming from hell and then unleashing hell onto other people. So you see that sustaining. Okay? Now, supposing now we gave Lucifer a preacher for a wife. What would we have done? Would have killed the what? But supposing we gave Lucifer, who should we give Lucifer? Sorry, yes, for a wife. A preacher, or should we give Lucifer Wonder Woman for wife? Or we give Morgana? If we gave Morgana, that would be a perfect what? Combination. You get it? Yeah. You saw there's this other movie of the mummy, where that guy comes and then finds this girl. She has a dream of becoming this bad girl. And what does he do? Gives her the power to really become what? Bad. Now that's what we call by you create a character. Okay? And who sustains your story? Idea. Let's look at the other parts. We have dealt so much on stories beginning. Let's look at the last minutes. Let's look at stories ending. Beginning is a bit simple. Yeah? Beginning is a bit what? Simple. Because you're given this laxity, this freedom to turn the story into your own what? Story. But now here they're telling us. Story doing what? Yes. Write a story ending. Write a story doing what? Ending. And then they give us that story ending. I will never make such a stupid word. Mistake. In my life. We will add that. In my life. So they have told us, write a story ending. I will never make such a stupid mistake in my... it can just be a mistake. You can do without the word what? Stupid. Stupid is coming in as a what? An adverb or an adjective? An adjective. To show. Now, this word stupid, it's going to help us to develop our story. Because now when we are looking, we have said, we first look at words, the choice of words, the diction. So, like the other one we picked, we talked about what? A gift. Wonderful. You get it? That set for us a pace. So now here they're telling us, I will never make such a stupid what? This is what is going to drive our story. Are we together? So, which ideas have we been given? Okay? Which proverbs would we use to develop this story? See? Very fast. Well, now we're using creativity, imagination, experience together. Which proverb would we use? Which proverb have we been given? That would develop this story of making mistakes. Once bitten, twice shy. Once bitten, twice shy. Okay, let's put it down. Once bitten, twice shy. Which other one? People? Which story? Which proverb? Okay, Yusuf, get off Lucifer. Which proverb would we use to talk about what? To build a story saying, Write a story ending. I will never make such a horrible, such a stupid, ridiculous, okay, mistake in my life. Someone has given us what? Once bitten, twice what? Shy. There's a better one. What's coming in after English? Okay? Yes, geography. Mr. Chiranda is around. Yusuf, don't run away. Daddy in the house. So people, what would we use? What would we use? People, we're running out of time. Once bitten, twice shy. No. The best one would have been... Oh God, I'm going to look at your faces, how you're going to feel guilty. And if you have it in your lips. My guests. Do you know how you're going to feel pain? Oh God, give it to me before I write it down. Oh God! Better late than never! Even right now, so that I laugh at you. Better late than never. Is this better late than never connected to this? Oh, let's do this. Not all that glitter. Hey! I wish I could turn the camera and the people see you. Come here and they see your face. Not all that glitters is what? It's gold. Are you seeing? So people, we have said our creativity and our imagination built with what? Daily experience, which is a collection of knowledge, a collection of ideas, data, information that we have come across, either in class. Okay? Okay, someone says, I'm sure it's a perfect match, the thorns and what? Gigantic wings. Thorns and gigantic wings. Never judge a book by its what? Cover. Beautiful. What did someone do? Judge the book by the what? The cover. Never judge a book by its cover. Yes. What did you do? What's the other statement that we know what we could use? When we do what? When we rush, what happens? When we rush, we crash. When we rush, we crash. So, the person who crashed is busy telling us what? I will never such a silly mistake. The person who judged the book by its what? Cover is saying I will never do it. Yes. The person also who rushed and said that what? All that glitters is what? Gold. Person who took it that all that glitters is gold. He's also saying, now he's telling us that what? What's the person saying at the end? Not all that glitters is what? Gold. Are we together? Yes. We have watched movies and then you see this beautiful lady, these guys, the movie begins and then these guys come, like they're gangsters, with their tattoos, what? They rich, they pour themselves, they enter, when they enter, maybe a bar, or a hall, a dancing hall, music is booming, and then people are there, and then what happens? They come and then there's this beautiful lady at the counter, seated, sipping her what? A drink. And then this guy comes, with all the flair. First of all, sports with his friend and says them, that lady there, a beautiful lady. I can't resist her, let me go. Then he comes and finds her, she's taking a drink, and then she's like, can I buy a drink? Alright, then he's taking one. Some expensive one, he's like, can I buy a drink? And then maybe she says, no, just come, let's share this. Eh? And I say, you sure? Can I call my friends also? Please do. Eh? And then he says, wow. And I realize you're how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're 6 of you. I'm just one. Can I call my friends to join us? And then of course they're like, are they beautiful like you? Yeah? Are they beautiful? Are they, they have got, Yeah, they're like, yes, they are. And then says, yeah. Okay? And then says, oh, wow. So the mood keeps running and says, yeah, can we get out of here? Maybe find somewhere quiet we can be to. And then they're like, yeah, sure. We got this big car we can jump on. So they jump on the car, they drive to some place, maybe it's a garden. Eh? So they go and they sit there, and they get blinded. Glittering. Judging what? And they are also doing what? They are rushing. Okay? So you get that, and then only to realize where are they waking up from? Where have they found themselves in? Eh? In a limbo. Cemetery. And then who is like each of them grabs a chick, a lady, eh? And then now when the booze begins to to sober down, eh? Who are they holding? Like a skeleton, eh? And is there grabbing them. Okay? So you get to see. So for us to build on the story that says write a story ending, we have to think very fast. Okay? That ending. Can we connect that ending to a certain what? Can we connect that ending to what will say what? A saying or a proverb? If we can be able to connect, then already we have a what? We have a story. Because it's as good as us being told, write a story based on the saying what? Not all that glitters is gold. Write a story based on the saying, never judge a book by its what? Cover. Period. Okay? And we can develop that. So that at the end of it all we are doing, now the exam and the same has cheated for us. Exams. They have cheated for us. One, they have told us, write a story based on the saying what? And end it with which statement? They have cheated for us. So all you need to do is to put your imagination, your creativity, your vocabulary, your experience together. Okay? Please, I keep talking about this. Vocabulary. Once you have words, you can either do what? Talk or write. And therefore you can do what? Compose. And what are we talking about? Composition. Are we together? Let me hope that I've been able to take you through developing, building compositions, and we look at just the ideas of what? One, compositions based on what? They're telling us stories beginning or ending with a given statement. All we need to do is be smart. Even this one here, stories ending, we just use what we call transfer of what? Knowledge. We transfer the other knowledge. We say, can we build? What emotions would this person be in? Anger. So what do we do? We start a story with anger? We must start a story with what? Happiness. Yes. Because it's this happiness that has led this person to make which statement? A stupid mistake. So you see? So we just contrast. So this is how we build. So we must also develop what? A character. Okay? So which kind of characters? We would create these glittering what? Characters. Who will help this person to make what? Stupid mistake. Okay? We would create this character. Glittering is the same as having beautiful what? Covers. And then the story builds. Okay? Slowly. I know if we keep putting these ideas we're talking about together, never trouble before trouble troubles you. Yeah, the person went and traveled what? Trouble. So I believe I've been able to do you some bit of justice as regards composition what? Writing. People, I did not come to give you notes. I came to inspire you. I came to motivate you. I came to build. I came to do one simple thing today. Okay? All I came to do as regards composition writing, I came to something very simple. That if you're able to do it, then you're okay. Each of you has a what? A block of talent. And all I've come to do is to help you do what? Melt it. I am lighting candles of inspiration, candles of motivation. Yes. Melt. Light these candles and melt your what? Your block of what? Composition writing. You'll see. If you can follow these ideas we are sharing right now, you'll see how you start writing very beautiful compositions. And you'll go beyond being just a composition writer. You'll start writing what? Books. I would love to read books written by my students. Yeah. Okay? I'm waiting. Yeah, so that in the future, I have better, for the part of literature, I have so many students. I have so many. Recently, I have students who added me to a group of poetry writers. Okay? It's called Poetry Association of Uganda, PAU. And guess what? Majority of the students, of the people there, the poets, are my former what? Students. So I feel so happy. So I would also, at one time, love in my shelf, in my bookshelf, I would love to have stories, okay, written by my current what? Students who have given the ideas of what? Creativity, imagination, vocabulary, experience build up. Good morning. Catch you another time. Okay? All the